Hari Om and welcome to all the divine Atma Jyotis. Let us continue our contemplation of Bhaja Govindam, Shloka number 29 today. So, who would like to begin first? Shubhaji?
Sir, I have a question in this. So, should I start with the question or the explanation first?
So, you can, you decide, whichever way you feel appropriate.
The meaning of this question today from you, so that will be right.
Yeah. So okay, Shankaracharya says wealth is no good because that is the thing which leads to all our problems, and that is the truth is that it is not where the happiness lies, because even if a person is wealthy, he's always under stress that somebody will take away all his wealth. So this is the meaning of the shloka. My question is, yeah, when you have wealth, the problem of that wealth is no good is and it is not happiness. That is when you realize that wealth doesn't give you happiness. But what if a person doesn't have anything? He will obviously go for wealth, right?
So, what is the question? Can you frame the question?
The question is, does this wealth is of no good apply to everybody, or it is only for person who has the wealth?
Okay. So, let's, as the others say, you can also pick up this question and share your view on this question. Who would like to go
Because
next?
for a man who does, or for a person who doesn't have food in his table,
sure,
obviously his mind will not go towards God. He will think about, okay, how can I earn money? How can I get money and eat that morsel of food? And how can I put, or how can I earn money for my family? So well, does this question, wealth is no good, apply to every situation or only
is it
to particular
statement? Is it a correct advice from Shankaracharya?
Yeah.
We have brought Acharya ji to court today. So let us see what we end up deciding. Padmaji, would you like to go next?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah, so in this shloka, I think the crux of all the shlokas in this Bhaja Govindam itself is coming from a point of view of everlasting bliss. How do you get that? When he says no good, it doesn't mean that it is not good at all or you should not have wealth. But the attachment to gathering more and more wealth is what he is against, I feel, in this shloka. Because one is, even in any scripture or even Bhagavad Gita for that matter, or any, there is a saying where it says that even if you want to give bhiksha to somebody, even if a beggar is there, first, there is no compulsion to give that person something without feeding yourself first. So from that point, if you see, so to an extent where you need food, clothing and shelter, that much money is enough, or it is okay to go after money that is needed to fulfill these essential or basic needs that any living being in this planet has. But collecting something or accumulating something beyond that is what he says is not good, because then that becomes your that desire will lead to further action which will only be engaged in collecting that wealth. So such an engagement of collection is not good, is what I feel he's talking about in this shloka. Because when you are collecting like that, then naturally when there is a lot of collection, you have a fear of losing everything also. So that is where he is talking about that this is not good. However, and this is not only true for wealth, isn't it? It is true for anything that you have in excess. That shows that you are attached to that particular thing. It can be wealth, it can be clothes, it can be your desire for food, a particular kind of food also. So anything that is where there is intensive attachment is not good for you, because then there is a fear of losing that, or fear of not getting what you really desire. That fear is coming. So that is what is not good, is what he's saying. Otherwise, yeah, I don't think this is a reference to that you should not go after wealth. I think it's natural for us to go for what we lack in the initial, especially if it is a need. Like in today's Valmiki story also, I think more than anything, I think it was his means to earn money that drove him to dacoity, because he couldn't be in the in a regular society and earn for his family, is what drove him into the forest, and that was the only way for him to earn. The thought behind whether it is right or not was another thing which came later on. But I think the purpose of going into that forest and becoming a dacoit, because there was no other way, was his option of earning money for and sustaining his living.
Wonderful. Who would like to go next? Shilpa ji, would you like to share your views?
Yes, sir. So, like Padmaji said, attachment to wealth is not good. I feel having wealth is not an issue as long as there is not much attachment to it. Because if there is wealth, I also feel privileged to share it with others, and I can do that only when there is no attachment to it. It's, I can use it for the good of others, to help others. So I feel in this shloka, it is the attachment to wealth that is not good, that is being discussed here.
Very nice. Rupa ji, your views?
Yes, sir. I have the same views as Padmaji.
Ditto.
But, yeah.
Okay.
But without wealth also it is difficult. The life would be difficult without wealth also.
You also have the ditto question of Shubhaji. Okay. Okay, ditto meaning of Padmaji and ditto question of Shubhaji. All right. Anything else?
No, sir.
Okay. Deepaji?
It's okay to have wealth, but we should not have it in excess. Even if we have it in excess, one should be engaged in service. Like in case of Sudha Murthy ji, she is engaged in service. So whatever the wealth they are having, they are, they are engaged in service, isn't it, sir? So even if they have wealth, excess wealth, then they can do this.
Okay. So what are you saying? Are you saying that some wealth is needed? Is that what you are saying? Or are you saying be
Wealth
completely
is needed.
needed?
Wealth is needed.
Hmm.
But the wealth doesn't give us happiness. So if one is engaged in service, they can indirectly seek happiness in it.
Okay. Anything more, Deepaji?
No, sir, nothing.
Okay.
So wealth is relative, no, sir. What can be a necessity for me may be a luxury for somebody.
Yes.
So how do you draw that line?
How do we, yeah.
What
yeah.
is excess?
Yeah.
Or what is more?
See,
Sir,
the
I would like to say
spiritual
something.
teachings, no, we have to, yeah, Rupaji, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Sir, people want to marry their daughters to wealthy people, at least. So here, when they are marrying, if we say wealth is not good here, then that would be wrong. wealth, but along with looking for people who are wealthy, if they also see the kind of family they are, I want to say a good background, that is more important than wealth. But wealth is not good, is not right, sir.
Okay, all right. So, Shankaracharya ji, today you are being grilled. Okay. So, see, we need to see these teachings in the right context. What is that Shankaracharya ji is prompting? Like how Padma ji said, what is the main purpose of Bhaja Govindam? So, by illustrating various kinds of what we call as what is normal life. Everyone wants to get married, everyone wants to have children, everyone wants to have big house, big car. This is how life is. And parents want their daughters to get married to a wealthy person. So that is what probably even, not really sure if that is how he thought about it, but I'm just making it up. So please pardon me, Janaka Maharaja. Janaka also thought, I'm getting my daughter Sita married to Rama, who is going to be the king of Ayodhya. He did not know that, he would be taking her to a Vanavasa. So the thing is, there is what is called as a social understanding of life. And the social understanding of life is study well. Why? So that, you can have a good job. Why? So that you can have a good house. Why? So that you can have a good wife. Why? So that you can have good children. Why? Like that, the logic is all about material comfort. For who? You have to ask that question. For who is that material comfort needed? And what is that comfort that is needed? What gives you comfort? So somebody comes and says, your 3 square meals a day is more than enough. I'm going to be very, very comfortable. Somebody comes and says, 3 meals and then roof on the head is comfortable. Somebody says 3 meals, roof on the head and some bank balance. When I retire, I should not have worry. Somebody says with bank balance, like that, the list goes on. All of it for what purpose? All of it for the so-called upkeeping of this body. Please see, everything that we say as what we need is only for upkeeping of this body. It is like you have a car, okay? So you are saying, I'm going to earn everything for my car. Because why? My car needs petrol, my car needs air, my car needs cleaning, my car needs to be kept clean. Suddenly, engine oil has to be changed. So like that, we are thinking only of the car. And therefore, everything that we are doing is for the car. Nothing wrong in taking care of the car. But is car you? Are you the car? Is everything in your life only about the car? If it was that, then the wealth or the rich people should be the happiest people in the world. Ilya, correct? Are they the happiest people in the world? Do you just for a moment, look around in your circumstances or in your surroundings. People who seem to live in big houses, in big apartment complex, they must be happy and enthusiastic and giggling with joy, and they should be running around and hugging each other. No worries, no qualms, no hatred, no fighting.
No, they are the saddest people.
Most often you find it like that, right?
Yeah.
The richest country in the world, America, is so insecure that it wants to invade every other country and make sure that no dissent is happening. Richest country in the world. Today, they are the topmost in terms of rich. Most people, even the janitor there has a relatively good house and a good car. But do you find happiest people? So, what Shankaracharya ji is prompting is, from where do you truly get happiness? from where do you get true contentment? Who are you? Why are you unnecessarily running behind money? He has not said what you should do with your life. He has not said whether you should earn or not earn. He is only prompting, realize the most important truth of life, then naturally you will know what to do with the wealth, or how much you should have, or how much you should not have. There's a wonderful and a beautiful story from the life of Vivekananda. Vivekananda was born in a very wealthy family, and that is how he could, initially, he could focus on seeking the answer for his question. However, it so happened that over a period of time, his wealth was lost. And at that time, he was with Ramakrishna. And he went once to Ramakrishna. He said, in your teaching, now that I am also in this path, in this God-seeking path, in this path of being with the God, I am not even able to take care of my family. My family is not having enough food even. They are struggling for food also. And this is bothering me so much. Can you request your Kali Ma? You say she is all powerful. Can you request her and give me some money? Ramakrishna said, why not come today evening? Instead of me asking, I will take you to her. You only can ask her. So in the evening he came. He said, so this is happening in Dakshineshwar, and there is this Kali temple in the Dakshineshwar ashram. So he said, go to the temple now. Nobody will be there. You will find Kali. You be with Ma. Ask whatever you want to ask. So Vivekananda goes. After some time, he comes back, and there are tears in his eyes. He's so somewhere else. And Ramakrishna asks, Did you meet Ma? Yeah. Okay, wonderful. Did you ask? Yeah, I asked. What did you ask? I asked, Ma, give me jnana, bhakti, vairagya. Hey, fool, but you wanted money. Ayyo, when I saw Ma, the only thing that came out of my heart was this. I've totally forgot. Go once again. Ask. I will once again request Ma to come to you. Once again he went. Again he came back. Again the same story. So the thing is, there is something that blows your mind away. There is something that is far bigger than any of your day-to-day worries. There is something that is beyond any expressions. It's like all of you, who have been mothers, you might have felt it, when your child was born. Something, though through all that pain, something was that much more meaningful and purposeful in your life. Some sense of, here is someone for whose sake I'm willing to give up my life. Please see, the moment of birth could have been the moment of death for you also. But you're willing to offer your life. So therefore, before the jnana, one may be so attracted to the social teachings and saying, all I want is money, money, money. But a realized being, realize means what? One who has touched the core. Because what is that you and I are seeking in life? What is that you are seeking through that money, through that cloth, through that house, through that car, through that so-called husband, wife? What are you seeking through that? Is money what you are going to hold on when you want something called as a peace of mind? Is money what you're going to hold on when you want some good oxygen? Is it money that is going to make you feel blissful? So the realized ones, they also live in the same society. Prabhuji also is living in the same society. He also has to plan for his daughter's wedding. He also has to look at, how much money is needed, how much money I have to spend, where I have to do. All those trials and tribulations are there for him also. But like that story of Swami Vivekananda, there is no greed. There is no more yearning. So Shankaracharya ji has given that answer right in the beginning. So right in the beginning, he has said, Mooda jahihi dhanagama trishnam kuru sadbuddhim manasi vitrishnam yallabhase nija karmopatam vittam tena vinodaya chittam. Karmopatam, the key word, what you have achieved through your past deeds. Vivekananda was born in a rich family. Due to the good punya, he had to go through whatever that trial and tribulation of losing. That is again because of the past deed. So Sita was married to Rama, who was the king of Ayodhya, but had to suffer. I don't know whether she suffered, but had to go through the Vanavasa. So what happens to your social circumstances may not be in your control. But what happens to your inside is what Shankaracharya ji is saying, that you are totally in control of. Inside, when you are having this realization, what? That it is not the money that I'm eating and breathing. See, what is the difference between a super rich person eating meal and you and I, or some beggar or some farmer eating food? It's the same food. It's the same food. None of us, whether you are a billionaire or whether you are a zero money person or whether you are a small farmer, none of us can eat beyond our fill. We all require some simple food that we can enjoy. And what creates a sense of enjoyment? Is it the silver bowl in which it is served that gives you the enjoyment? Or is it that banana leaf that gives you the enjoyment? What gives you that enjoyment? There's once again that wonderful story from Mahabharata of that squirrel. You all know that maybe. Dharmaraya, after all the Mahabharata war, was feeling very low and sad. Ayyo, I've caused so much of death and grief. So Krishna said, do Rajasuya Yaga, do some dana, dharma, you'll feel better. So he did a grand Rajasuya Yaga. He called all the Brahmins, all the people from all around, fed them, started giving them donations. And by almost evening, he was feeling, wow, oh my God, so much wonderful thing I've done. Almost towards the end of the day, a squirrel came running, and then one part of the squirrel was gold and the other part was not gold. And Yudhishthira was wonderstruck. And the squirrel said, oh, I heard you are doing a wonderful yagna, and I wanted the rest of my body to become gold, and I've come here. But Yudhishthira said, how did the other part become gold? And it talked about a wonderful Brahmin family, which when there was a total famine and nothing to eat, for many days that Brahmin family was suffering. And the owner of that house, he could not see the suffering. So he went to the owner of that village, the Jamindar, and requested him to give a morsel of rice. And he brought that morsel of rice and he cooked rice. And all of them, he and his wife and his son and his son's wife, 4 of them were there. Each one got a little. But he said, my son and my daughter-in-law, let them get higher percentage. And me and my wife, we are anyway old, let's have small. So like that they distributed and said their prayers and was about to eat. There was a knock on the door. And there was when he opened, there was a very old and pale and almost about to fall looking old person. And he was begging. He said, please give me some food. I have not eaten for 2 weeks. So he could not bear the pain on that old person's face. So the owner of that household, he said, please take my food. He gave his food. He himself hadn't eaten for 2 weeks, but he said, take my food. And that old person ate that food and he said, Ayo, I'm still not full. Can you please give me some more? The lady of that house, she said, my wife, my husband has given, I will also give. So she also gave up. And that old person was still not satiated. Then the son gave, looking at how wonderful this family is, how they were not looking after their own greed or their own need. Even in this case, even the daughter-in-law, she gave. After he ate all of it, that old person blessed them. He said, may the best happen to you. May the Shubha happen to you. May the highest happen to you. And the story goes that, that night, out of hunger, that the family died, but they found the salvation. And a squirrel which was seeing all this, it saw one grain of rice which was on the floor, which was offered in this yagna. And it rolled on that grain of rice, and half of its body turned gold. And saying this, the squirrel said, today I heard you have done wonderful yagna, so I want the rest of my body also to turn gold. And it went and rolled in that yagna bhasma. But it still was the same. So it just said to Yudhishthira, thank you, Yudhishthira, for giving me an opportunity, and walked away. Yudhishthira came running to Krishna. Krishna, what happened? I did so much. Is my yagna, is my dana dharma not worthy of that old Brahmins? So Krishna said, it is not how much you are doing. It is with what attitude you are doing. Is it not? What is the attitude? Though they were dying, they were willing to give up for somebody else's life. So like that.
Is it because Yudhishthira had the doership? I did it because of that?
Correct. Whereas the other family, when they were willing to give up, they found the highest. Because you are beyond all this bodily limitations. You actually don't need food. You don't need money. But the social you needs all this. And the social you needs all this because it has a body bhava, deha bhava. But the real you is beyond all this. And when you touch the real you, the social you will continue. But what is necessary, what is needed, it comes and it goes. So Shankaracharya ji wants each one of us to touch that real you. Feel that real you. When somebody comes and says, what's the taste of some dish? You don't keep on explaining. You say, eat, here, I have made it, eat. Then you will know. So he's simply helping us to prepare ourselves to eat. Because there is no way that Shankaracharya ji or anyone explain that feeling of completeness that you have within you. What is called as Brahmananda. Brahmanandam Paramasukhadam Kevalam. So that Brahmananda, Paramasukha. How will you know? No way to explain. Nobody can give it to you. It is who you are. As what? As that eternal being. It's your body thinking that makes you feel, I need that, I need this. This is needed, that is not needed, that is enough, this much is. All that is okay. Nothing wrong. but know that highest. Is this bringing clarity? Is there anything more to add or ask?
No, sir. But it takes effort to differentiate between the real world and the...
Correct. It does. Why? Because of various impressions we have gathered.
Yeah.
So that's why those binding impressions have to be cleansed. And the only way to cleanse that is through service. And once when you cleanse, and once when you touch, even a little of that. See, for example, the feeling of love, once when you've felt, you know. So like that feeling of the eternal is something that will come. Just that I have to open my heart. And the way to open my heart is to come out of all these mundane worries. Again, nothing wrong. Shankaracharya ji is not saying don't earn for your family. That is not what he is saying. In fact, that is why he is saying yogaratova, bhogaratova. Whether you are in yoga, that is spiritual sadhana, or bhoga, which is, all full of wonderful things. Doesn't matter. Yogaratova, bhogaratova, sangaratova, sangavihīnaha. Only one who has touched Brahman, who has realized Brahman, only such a being can be truly happy. King Janaka was among wealth, was very happy. Ramana Maharshi, nothing, just a kaupina, very happy. Prabhuji's life is the way you are seeing. Mata Amrutanandamayi, the way you are seeing. It is not a matter of circumstance of the life that decides your inner peace and happiness. Irrespective of the circumstance of the life, when you realize your true nature, when you touch your true nature, that it is full of love and compassion and kindness and happiness and bliss, and you don't need anything more. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate. You are complete. So you will not add something more to feel complete. So therefore, Shankaracharya ji is prompting us again and again by showing that all of this is kshanika. Husband, wife, family, money, all of this is kshanika. It comes and goes. Touch that which is not kshanika, which is eternal. So that's why nityaanitya viveka, prāṇāyāmaṃ. Next he goes on to say, see, he says, how just now Shubhaji asked, oh, it's difficult. So that's why he has given us 4 simple steps. Prāṇāyāmaṃ, pratyāhāraṃ, nityānitya, vivēkavichāram, jāpyasamēta. These 4 have to be inculcated in our day-to-day life. See, why pranayama? You have to take care of this body. What is pranayama? It is the one which gives the prana shakti. What is prana shakti? What you are saying, I am deriving from the food that I am eating. You think that it is the food that you are eating that is giving you all the energy. That is a total misunderstanding. It hardly gives you some 10-15% of the energy that you need. In your body, just if you notice, it's your breath that gives you energy. So when you inculcate the right pranayama, you actually don't even need a lot of physical food. The last 10 days of December, we were living in the ashram. For all those 9-10 days, we were eating only some fruits and vegetables, and that too, just because, the body is used to it. Otherwise, the energy of environment and the thinking process and what you are practicing can keep you so much alive. You all have felt it. It is not that you have to go and live like that to feel it. I'm giving you so many examples. When you all, are having, for example, when your baby is not well and you have to take care of the baby in the night, how much energy you have felt? How did that energy come? Just because you feel, okay, what is that I want to do for this child? And energy comes. So you think that it's food that that gives you energy. So all our life is about food. What food gives you energy? Pranayama. Learn pranayama. Then you will know. You don't need all that. Pratyāhāraṃ. Learn how to control your senses. Nothing wrong in indulging in sensory pleasures. But is it driving you? Has it become your habit pattern? So then the most important, nitya̱nitya vivēkavichāram. What is eternal? What is non-eternal? Unless I develop that viveka, how can I truly be liberated? Because I'll keep going into this habit pattern. The only way I can come out of this habit pattern is nitya̱nitya vivēkavichāram. That is jnana. Then jāpyasamēta. That is bhakti. True bhakti. Bhakti and jnana. Jnana and bhakti. Those are the 2 feet, are the 2 legs on which Sri Krishna, Sadguru, stands. We all say, surrender to Sadguru, surrender to Sadguru, surrender to Krishna. What do you surrender to? Realize the jnana that Krishna is teaching. Realize the bhakti that Krishna is teaching. Bring it in your life. That is true surrender. That is the only way you and I can become free from this maya. Jnana bhakti. Then you will see that deity that is in your heart. You will see the kingdom of heaven. Jesus said, kingdom of heaven is within you. That God's heaven, what you call as that heaven, whatever your notion may be, but the true heaven is in your heart. And who is in your heart? That eternal being. And who are you? You are that only. Touch that. And how to touch? All the masters are giving you the path. Anything more?
Then in the 30,
Yeah.
Why does he say in the last thing, perform these with great care? Is there any specific reason why does he use perform these with great?
What is where your mind going? So, for example, there are all these jokes. No, you're doing japa. I'm doing japa, and somebody outside is making some noise. Don't you know I'm doing japa? Don't you know I'm doing puja? Can you not be silent? What is this? People don't even know that I'm doing puja.
Okay, in that way. Okay.
So, because at the end of the day, whatever you're doing in life, you're doing with your mind, and you have something called as an attention in your mind. Where is your attention? In doing whatever you're doing, where is your attention? Unless you are paying attention, life goes like that. So, therefore, Shankaracharya is saying, do it, but do it with great care, great attention. Because it's only the attention. Nitya̱nitya viveka. Okay, so what does Tattva Bodha teach about nitya̱nitya viveka? Tattva Bodha says nitya̱nitya viveka. Okay. But what is it really saying? Have you paid attention? If you paid attention, job done.
Does that mean that no matter how loud the external voices are, just pay attention to your mind and chant? Mind means your chanting and do it.
Now, don't take it quite literally to chanting alone. The point of this is, when what you are performing, whether it is puja, whether it is japa, whether it is some practice or whatever it is, what are you paying attention to? If you pay attention, job is done actually. how many times one has to be taught that tattvammasi? If it is realized, job done. Everything else is taken care of. Am I paying attention?
So can I say in any activity, I should look at the spiritual significance of it rather than the ritualistic part of it? Can I put it that way?
You can, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
How, in other words, you see, it may be, for example, as a simple example, please don't take it quite literally. Let's say you are cleaning the toilet. Okay, so, what is spiritual about it? So it's not about the thinking. It's about, so in this particular activity, depending upon my own mental tendency, if bhakti is my mental tendency, what I'm cleaning is actually nothing but that God in the form of this, whatever that I call as that muck. So, am I able to completely be with it, clean the toilet with that feeling of surrender that I would have when I'm going to the, say, Lord Jagannatha temple and saying, "Oh Lord Jagannatha, can I see Vittala in the toilet?" So like that, in depending upon my own tendency, I need to perform that with that complete clarity. If it is jnana, then if jnana is my pradhana, then there is no more doership, no more ownership. And this is name and form of the Lord. And Lord, wow, what a wonderful creation it is. Appears as shit, appears as mango, appears as bird, appears as air. What a mighty, powerful creation is this. So like that, depending upon, your own understanding of the your own inclinations, but are you completely in that?
Then I think here one more example what I think comes to my mind is, that is why in our old system of Gurukula, when kids were young itself, they were moved away to be under the Guru's guidance for a certain number of years. So all the attachment that comes even with the birth, right? Attachment to mother, attachment to father, family, and that comfortable way of life is all removed, and thereby there is an automatic sense withdrawal that is there coming from such a lifestyle itself. So I think that is what was helpful in them, attaining some kind of detachment and then performing their functions later on and do what is needed to be done. That's something I feel. Yeah.
See, that's why there are 4 ashramas. No, there is brahmacharya, then grihastha. So grihastha dharma is also important.
Yeah.
The society upkeeping happens because of the grihastha dharma.
Yeah. And like you mentioned, that right attitude, like what is to be done, how much is to be done, that is coming from the knowledge that has been acquired before.
Without the right jnana, then that's why, no. Nahi jnanena sadrisham. Without the right jnana, it won't happen. But jnana alone, I cannot keep accumulating. How much of scriptures would one study to know that, to serve the needy is the simplest way by which, you can evolve.
Correct.
How many scriptures have to be studied to know that? Just do it once. Do it with full involvement. Do it with arpana bhava. You will know. That's all. That's why that story, that Brahmin family When they offered, they realized. So the so-called death in that story is a, don't understand it literally.
Yeah,
So
it's only a physical death. Yeah.
it could be like that, or another way of looking at it is they died to their falsehood and they were born to their truthhood.
Correct. Yeah.
Because once when that person blesses, see, the blessings have immense power. Because that other old person who really got satiated, the story goes that it is Ishvara who came in the form of that old man. And please see the power of this blessing. When you truly help someone in need, then they truly feel like blessing you. And that blessing is what protects you in life. Because their blessing has a different quality. When someone you have helped who really need it, and it's not a artificial, oh, thank you very much. You know, all these kitty party, social circle kind of blessing alla idu. This is from the heart to the heart. And from the heart to the heart is what touches, is what enables, is what opens up the path. They just had to do it once. In that story, as you saw, it was once that they were willing to, okay, I'm okay. Even if I know that, you know, even if I don't eat, I may also die. Whoever I think I am, I may also die. But I cannot see the suffering of this old man. So that is the critical moment. The moment they pass that, job done. Then you will die to your falsehood and you'll be born to your truthhood. You'll be born to your eternity because you are not going to die. There's nothing to die in you.
Sir, when we are doing something.
You're not audible, Rupaji.
Oh, okay. Am I audible now?
Yeah.
Sir, when we are doing something, if our mind is into negative thoughts constantly, and we are, if I'm not able to, I don't want those negative thoughts to come, but the more I don't want them to come, I see that they're even more. And I do my task nicely, but because it's a monetary task, I can do it with not much attention there. So how can I overcome these negative emotions? To actually, if I'm doing the any job, to overcome those negative thoughts only or negative emotions only, but working using my physical body, I'm trying to divert myself by getting engaged in any work. But that is not, if that is not helping me, what could be done, sir?
Again, Rupaji, same answer. See, it is not about how do I divert and get involved in some activity. See, some activity, if it were to help you, that is how it happens. No, if someone is depressed, somebody comes and says, come, I'll take you to a movie. What it is doing, it is only taking the mind away for some time. That is not going to help. Because whatever deeply is still feeling, I'm not complete, has to be addressed. And how to address that? Through seva. The more you get involved in seva, seva means again what? Do something for the benefit of others. We always keep doing for the benefit of me, or at most to our family. What is that I can do something else? So as I keep doing that, the mind stabilizes and it will find the answer that you're looking for.
But most of the time I'm at home.
So see what is that best you can do with that time that is available to you. What is that you can offer in that time?
Offer to whom, sir?
get involved with any Gnana activity. There are so many translation work that needs to be done in Atma Jyoti, or get involved with local temple and see whether they need any help that you can do from your home. Get involved with the Rishi Yagna. That is the highest yagna, highest seva. So there are Panchamaha yagnas that are prescribed. Out of that, Rishi Yagna is the highest. Be involved in learning and taking the message. So like that, see what is that your inclination and what is that service that you want to offer. Again, when it is said, it may come out as an advice, not as an advice. That's why, do this is not the right answer. I feel like saying, you have to see in your circumstance what is that which is an empowering activity. I found it. I found it in my Gita for children. I found it in my Gita for adults. I found it in my AVSC sessions. I found it in my Power Within program for students. All these are when I get involved with any of these, and when we recently did a Power Within program for children, 10th grade children in Salem. We were there for 3 continuous days, and at the end of it, we get letters from them. And each letter, when I read, I feel doesn't matter whatever that happened in the past. Oh God, this life, it's thank you very much for giving this opportunity.
Actually, there will be so many pending tasks at home which needs our attention, and our commitment to these tasks and all these things will, I feel, will not let me get engaged into all these things.
Again, it's a matter of priority, Rupaji. For example, most often we get into this illusion that without me, none of this would work. I have to see. See, just like you make time for brushing the teeth, you make time for taking bath. Like that, you have to make time. There is no easy answer. In the beginning, while making time, it may cause some disruption, but I and you need to see how to enable it.
Because even when attending this class, I will have to get up from my seat a few number of times to attend to those things.
So then I need to see whether I have built the capacity in people around me to take care of it by themselves, or am I making them dependent on me? For example, in my office or in any office, let's say you are playing the role of a boss, and if every decision has to be taken by the boss, then the boss can, and the office can only prosper as much as decisions the boss can take. But if you have empowered others to take decision, then the company can prosper, is it not?
Yes, sir.
So if a hotel owner thinks I have to sit on the galla because I cannot trust anybody to deal with money, then that hotel will prosper only that much, because he constantly is worried about sitting on the galla and losing the money. So he will have capacity to develop his hotel only to that much. But the moment he says, okay, let me figure out what is the way by which I can enable somebody else also to come here. Okay, why not I think of a model where all of us are owners, then why I should worry who takes more, who takes less? We will together decide that all of us work together for each other, and we will share both the losses and the gains equally. Okay, let me see whether this works. Who is stopping you from doing that in your own circumstance?
No,
So it's all a myth that we've created, that there is no time. It's all to do with how I have created the circumstances around me. I can be the Gallapattige boss and say, without me, this hotel cannot run. Come, 10 minutes. No. I cannot trust these mad people. 10 minutes, if I'm not there, what they will do, I don't know. Or you can be like the Janaka Maharaja. Even when his palace was burning and somebody came running, he was with his guru. And somebody came running, yo, palace is burning. He simply said, call the people who can quench the fire. I will come after this session is done. So it all depends upon how you develop these capacities in you and around you. But for that, what is needed? First, the realization that you have that capacity.
So I used to face something similar to what you are saying, Rupaji. And like Sir said, it might be difficult for us to accept, but the thought process behind that is, if I am not there, these people cannot function. Or if I am not the person there, it may not be done the way I want it to be done. You know, somewhere your ego only is playing there, isn't it? So three things that helped me was, one is to one day just don't get up, you know, tell them very nicely, softly, that this is my time. I want, this is priority in my life. So please give me this 1.5 hours and do not disturb me at that time. You can make a request like this. And after making the request, make sure that you don't get up, or you are not forcing yourself to get up. You know, usually we think that they need us, our family, when we are in this class. But usually things works out on its own if you don't go and interfere. If you are not having half your mind there and thinking, oh, I am here, there is some sound in the kitchen, God knows what they are doing. Afterwards, what work I will have. You know, those kind of thoughts. We are the ones who are split in our mind, where we are not fully present here. Half of our mind is there. Because there is one, like Sir said, you have one belief system behind us that, okay, without me, this will not function. That is not true, right? Just try it one day. It might be difficult initially to not get up for this 1.5 hours, no matter what happens. But then it works out. Initially for me also, this was a challenge. But then I thought, okay, this is what I want to give myself. I don't want anything else from all of you. Just this 1.5 hours on a Saturday, Sunday, when it is a holiday for all of you. So it is not like I am not doing my responsibility of a mother and sending my child to school and deviating from that dharma and coming and sitting here. No, I have chosen specifically a weekend where I make sure that to a large extent, I am not disrupting the routine that this family is following. But in return for that, I just want this 1.5 hours where people do not come and disturb me. If there is a problem, that can be taken care of by them. So when you make, see, you have to make first your stance clear, no? What is priority to you? Is this class priority to you? Is this satsanga a priority to you? Can you function without this? Obviously, I would like to think that after 2-3 years, at least for me, it is, I am not able to function properly. There is something missing. There is a void when I don't attend these satsangas. There is something I get of great value, which I don't want to forego under most, as long as it is not emergency situation, I don't want to let go of these satsangas. So that is a clarity that we have to get in our mind, that no, this is my time, this is what, and before this, if needed, you get up early because this is important. I'm sure your mind will make available to you solutions where you get up earlier and you take care of certain things which you feel cannot be done without them. For example, if you have to make breakfast before, have some solution for that. Make something which is easier for you, which can be done in half an hour, and then they don't have to come and disturb you, no? If breakfast is the requirement within this time. Something like that, your mind will give solution. What you prioritize, your mind will find solutions to make you do that.
Yeah, Padmaji.
See, because see, when we speak, no, lot of times it is self-talk, okay? So when we say that this work is not letting me do that, do something which I want to do, that means you are already providing an excuse to your mind, right? To go away from this, to go away from what you love, to go away from what is important or priority to you. So then those people just become names and forms that you use as an excuse. Actually, they are not. They are not doing that. It is your mind. You are creating that in your mind. And it is not easy to accept also in the beginning. I am talking like this because I have applied it over a period of certain time and I have come here. So at this stage, I can talk about it. But initially, it was not easy for me to accept it. That, okay, something can function without me. Because that is your ego again, right? Where you want that, okay, I am important in this family. And this is how I am important. Without me, the kitchen cannot run. Without me, breakfast cannot come. Without me, nothing will, they cannot do anything. They cannot find things. All this is an excuse that we come up with.
Other than these, Padmaji, there are a few things like I want my son to wake up at the same time he wakes up in the morning every day. Yeah, I mean during the weekdays also. So I will have to show him a stick and uh, make him wake up and then do things. So is this wrong then? Like I'm
What
leaving
is
the
wrong? Trying
class
to
in the
wake
middle.
him up?
No. Leaving the class, not leaving the class. I'm going to him constantly to make sure that he wakes up on time. He does all the things on time because I've seen that when I'm in the class, he may wake up at 9 o'clock. So I don't want that to happen. That is why I'm going to him and I'm asking him to do things every now and then.
Yeah, so here two things are there. No, one is how long do you want him to be dependent on you, even for waking up? Yeah, I can understand they are still kids and all that, but still you want him to cultivate that habit of waking up early on his own. Okay, so you have two options. Either you wake him up before the class itself. Okay, say I and my son, I make sure we wake up 5 a.m. every day, whether I have class or not, whether he has holiday or not. That is a routine I have followed from the beginning. A lot of my family members will say, it is his vacation, why he has to wake up at 5 a.m. No, but it is a habit. No, if he wakes up 7 a.m. 21 days, that might just shift all the things that I have built in from the beginning. And waking up early is a good habit that I have wanted to cultivate in him. Okay. See, in my house also, my husband doesn't wake up and we don't bother to wake him up because he's an adult. Why I want to waste my time and energy in waking up somebody who doesn't believe in waking up early? Of course, there are other things that he works very late till night, 1 a.m. And all he works. So that is his personal choice as an adult that he's making. But definitely, as a mother, I want to cultivate some good things in Aditya, which I feel that might be helpful in future for him. So now I don't have to wake him. It is like how Sir described in the morning. Many days he will wake up early and then he will switch off the alarm because he's woken up before 5. But it didn't happen in day one. I had to bring that habit for which I have to wake up at 5. No. First, I wake up at 5, then only I can make that habit and he can observe, okay, there is somebody else who's waking up and what is the advantage? Then maybe he can realize that, or it can just be a habit which he has formed. Like that, if you want to attend a class at 6 a.m. and you want to still make sure Ramakrishna wakes up, then you cannot wake up at 6. You have to wake up at 5:30 and then do all that and then you start your class.
Thank you, Padmaji.
Wonderful. Is there anything else anybody wants to share? Or can we end this contemplation?
Can end, sir.
Okay. Hari Om.